Yeah.
Where do you think downhill's at right now?
Well, it's the racing's in a great place. Like, you have to admit, the races have been insane.
Yes.
Yep.
And the runs recently have been unreal.
We've had some all-timers, haven't we?
Yeah, some all-time runs. 2 in a row. Amaury and Leger and Valdesol. So, unreal. And winning margins to go in the record books.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't expect at this level of the sport.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arguably the best race run ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's funny to think about it. What downhill? How do you put it? Like, we're impressed by a massive winning margin. It's not the closeness. We're impressed of that feat of being that good and that perfect.
Yeah, and win every sector.
Yeah.
Like, that's perfection.
Yeah, it is perfection. That's pretty damn close, isn't it?
Maybe he would say it's not.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear what he thinks.
He
of that
doesn't
racing.
think. I don't think he thinks it was perfect. He's like, no, that wasn't perfect. But then, as an athlete, that's your mindset.
Yeah.
So you don't even know what perfect is, probably. Like, would anyone say that was the perfect performance in a downhill race? There would always be that one thing. I was like, I just went that little bit there.
Yeah.
And that could have been better. So you're always trying to do better.
I haven't looked at the splits, but was his run the
fastest?
The perfect run? Was it like every sector?
Yeah.
All sectors won?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's really rare.
Yeah.
I think it has hardly happened.
So his was the perfect run?
Yeah.
That's wild.
But then he could say that he didn't ride that sector perfectly.
Yeah.
So
to him, it's
in
not
his mind,
perfect.
it might not be. Yeah.
So let's just take Amaury, because he's proving to be quite a dominant force at the minute. From your perspective, what is he doing different? What are him and Loic doing that the rest of the field is finding hard to have answers to?
I think they just leave no turn unstoned.
That's great.
Yeah.
Like, they're so much in depth with everything. They're all in, and they've got big teams behind them that are putting everything in as well.
And when we say putting everything in, what we think, like, what is it? What is putting everything in?
It's like every box is ticked.
Yeah.
And they're on track. They're doing so much work with their team staff on track to find everything perfect. And their team staff's watching everyone. A lot of teams have that as well, but they do the work on the sections. I see them, like, pushing up often.
So that'll be, you'll have a team member on a section, a key section, let's say, and then they'll be watching everyone else go through. They'll find what they think is the quickest line, and then they'll just get their rider to do it until they feel they're up to speed.
And they'll often try it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of work to do, and it's hard to do because you don't come in the section with momentum. You've got to feel it out, and you've got to really give it to push, Amaury's like pushing up until the sweep rider's coming to close the practice session.
Yeah.
And Loic as well, quite often. And I'm like, they're dedicated to make sure that's perfect. They're chasing that perfection.
Yeah.
So they're maximising practice, basically.
Yeah, 100%. Like, they give everything. Like, and the other riders will ride through, maybe be like, yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Rather than chase perfect.
And then post-practice and stuff, they're just...
Yeah, back to debrief with the team. They're quite analytical with their whole team. And then, they just... If they do that during the race week, then imagine what the training week is like and everything else. So it's all focused on to get that winning performance. Is pretty impressive.
So so you'd say it's like a focus on the details that are really making the differences right now in times.
I think so, yeah. And then that's the stuff that I can see. So then what I can't see is what they're doing with the bike and what the mechanic's doing and everything like that. Then there'll be a lot of work behind the scenes.
And for anyone else to come up to that level, you think that's basically what you need to do. There's no flukes anymore, right?
No, I think you've seen riders rise up recently, and they've done a lot of work to get to that. Like your Dakota or your Ronan. Like, Ronan's always had a lot of speed, but he's now developed consistency, and that's taken time. It didn't happen overnight. and Dakota's slowly got there, and he's running the totally different setup to everyone else, which
right?
is like believing in the work he's done.
Yeah.
Like, he has everything different to everyone else. Like, the suspension is softer because he's got the high handlebar and so on. Like, no one runs a soft fork, but he can. So he's obviously worked out what works for him, and it's working. It's like he looks like he's cruising. He reminds me of Josh Bryceland.
Yeah.
He's like kind of cruising. He hardly ever pedals, and he's like, he just tucks behind those handlebars quite often, and he's very good at keeping speed.
It's mega interesting, isn't it? Because like we've just literally talked about Amaury's the perfect run,
Yeah.
the run that was perfect in every sector,
Yeah.
or number one in every sector, and it's like it's quite hard not to just follow what's producing the results.
Yeah.
So to have the confidence to try something different when you can look with your eyes through practice, through semis, quali, whatever, race day, and you can see what is winning.
Yeah.
And then to just be like, nah, I'm having 80 mil rise bars. Soft front end.
Yeah, he does a lot of work. Dakota does heaps of timed runs.
Right.
Just does runs and runs and runs. It's like, I think it does, like, normal week, he does 80 runs or something.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
So not many, like, that's the big change I've seen in the last few years of sport, that people ride downhill more.
Right.
It used to be like, I remember, like, riders wouldn't ride the whole off season. They'd get ready for the first race, do like a 2-week block, and then they'd be ready for the first race, and they wouldn't do downhill other than that. Like, now it's changed so much. Like, you just on your downhill bike all the time. If you look on social media, everyone's riding downhill. So that, and maybe Jackson and Jordan, they've changed that. Like, Jackson grew up in the bike park, and he just rode downhill, and he got really good at riding downhill. I think he also, like, maybe a reason why he got so good at carrying speed was because he was so small.
Yeah.
He was so small growing up that he had to carry speed, so he had to work out how to generate speed the best, because his weight was less when he was a kid. He was always smaller than the other kids his age.
Yeah.
So he probably got better at those skills over the years, and then that's paying off now.
Yeah.
And what you're saying makes sense as well in terms of, like, the nations that are doing well. They're like nations with mountains.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the people that, even just around here, just because I know around here,
Yeah.
the World Cup races here didn't ride exactly what you're saying. They didn't ride downhill bikes.
Yeah, or they have to go to Wales every weekend.
Yeah.
So, like, the only chance to ride downhill in this country is pretty hard. It takes a lot of commitment and probably budget to do that, as a parent, to take your kid and do that every weekend.
Very true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, man, what an episode that was. You did amazing in it.
And so did you.
You shone like a star.
You shone like a moon.
Can we also put something up here that you can click on for the next episode?
How about we put a subscribe up there in the middle?
Yeah, I love
We're going to put a video we think that our lovely companionship will love on your face.
On my face?
Yeah.
So
And
they
on
can't see me now?
Gone. And on my face, another video that we think people will love. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please hit like and subscribe. You guys are the best.
Peace and love.